Hey there, Internet. This is Explosions and Exposition. I'm Explosions, this is Exposition. Welcome to our show.
Hi there. Welcome to Explosions and Exposition Episode 2, where we'll be discussing the recent casting decisions made in Marvel and DC. I have with me, of course, my talk show host, Explosions. I'm Exposition, and this is our friend, Man in the Long Black Coat.
Hello.
Or as we'll be calling him, LBC from now on. So let's start off with the recent casting of Doctor Strange by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised this came through, largely because I thought he'd been cast months ago, so when it officially happened, I was kind of like, oh, I thought we knew that. And I'd already got over all my excitement with it. And I'm actually relatively reserved about it, to be honest.
I'm reserved too.
Really? Okay. I thought this would be like, you know, a Marmite decision.
No, I'm not. I'm not just reserved. I'm almost really hesitant about it because.
Well, why is that?
I don't feel he's right for it. When you see Doctor Strange, I don't immediately think Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, it's often in the cartoons he's quite depicted as a sort of late 40s, early 50s man, greying hair, strong jaw, whereas Cumberbatch is of course quite thin, very high cheekbones, and still relatively young.
Yep.
Yeah. To be fair, I think he could do it.
Oh, there's no question
because
he could do it.
I think
from an acting standpoint.
A little bit of like grey in the hair, like maybe a bit more muscle. Basically, his Khan to me is just a badass version of Doctor Strange with less magic. I mean, I think that could really pull off in the film sense. What worries me is just he's in everything right now. I mean, he's Smaug the Necromancer. He's two roles in one film.
I don't think he is the Necromancer.
Well, he's listed as the Necromancer.
He's listed as a Necromancer.
Oh.
He does the voice.
I swear it was someone else, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're wrong and we're just getting the wrong information here. I'm all for this. I am so for this because what you're remembering is we're not going to be seeing. I don't think we're seeing old Doctor Strange. We are going to be seeing Doctor Strange Origins, and the sort of iconic image we're used to is Doctor Strange at the height of his powers after decades of training and learning and doing all this. And we're going to see and I think it's going to be an absolute treat to watch Benedict Cumberbatch play the womanizing sleazeball surgeon who does not give a crap.
I accept, regarding the origin, Kevin Feige has already went on record saying it's not an origin story.
You know what? I take back everything I just said. I'm against it. He can't play old. What are we going to do? CGI him to look ancient?
I know it isn't possible, but
I suppose if you are an all-powerful shape-shifting wizard, you would need.
If it was possible, I think the best choice would have been Edward Norton.
I disagree. I still maintain, and I will always maintain, Jason Isaacs.
That would also work.
He just looks like Doctor Strange, and he's a good actor. He's a great actor, in fact. So you're reserved. You're against?
I'm not against, but not for either. I'm just
okay. So we're looking forward to it, but
I mean, to be fair,
some reservations.
This comes back to a thing I think we're going to be seeing a lot over the next few years with the whole running up to the Infinity Wars. Is that no matter what Marvel do at this point, we're going to go watch it because they've not failed yet.
Again,
so
and I'm literally going to spend the entire movie waiting to hear him say "Eye for Shanti" because that's what we're waiting for. In other news, of course, DC have released the cast list for the Suicide Squad, which have divided rooms everywhere. Now, if you don't know, the Suicide Squad is a group of villains you hired and caught by the American government and told, we will give you a clean slate if you perform the most dangerous, deadly missions for us.
I think that it also varies on how many missions they have to do. Like, for instance,
it's not like just one and you're out. And then there's some who are just institutionalized.
I think Deadshot is generally...
Deadshot's just a recurring character in the Suicide Squad. So I don't know if it's just they keep letting him go and then he keeps getting caught and it's become a whole cat and mouse thing where really he's just in love with Amanda Waller, which would have been an amazing twist.
That would be a pretty good twist.
But of course Deadshot, who is one of the most iconic Suicide Squad characters, has been cast as Will Smith.
I'm for this.
I am too. I think it's a good chance for Will Smith to...
Okay.
Are you please know you're against this?
What you normally see of Will Smith is the big-eared, happy-go-lucky, hey guys, I'm okay, and maybe he's a little bit smooth in that. But Deadshot is a complete sleazeball. I just don't think Smith has it in him. I think they're going to try and make too much.
I think it's a chance for Will Smith to show he has it in him.
Maybe, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. I don't think he can. I think he's been institutionalized by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he's stuck.
No, I'm going to disagree. Largely because for me, Deadshot, the most interesting thing about Deadshot's character has never been like the sleazeball aspect of him. It's the side that the Arrow's focused on, which is the whole thing. He's doing everything everything he does is for his daughter. He has a very particular set of skills, which means he can't generally stay on the right side of the law. So he has to commit crime, he has to kill people and stuff, he has to commit assassinations, etc. But it's all to get money to save his daughter, who
You telling me we're just going to get the Suit of Happiness with guns here?
Pretty much. That's what I'm
And I'm against it more.
But with the gravitas of I Am Legend.
Mixed feelings.
Plus other cast to alleviate
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Of course,
that is actually my biggest worry. While I like Will Smith as an actor, I think he's pretty fun. I think he can do a lot of emotional range, which a lot of people don't give him credit for. Largely because the films he chooses to do with
annoying
emotional
Uncle
range.
Phil, annoying Jeffrey, annoying Carlton, hitting on a girl, and upset for some reason because of his past.
He's been in things beyond the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
And he's always just playing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, doing one of those 5 things.
I think the reason people don't give Will Smith a lot of credit for his emotional acting ability is just because a lot of his emotional acting films are boring as shit. But I think the trouble with him as Deadshot in the Suicide Squad is that he's potentially a black hole, and that everything's going to gravitate towards him. He's going to be
The central character.
Almost Marvel managed to avoid this with Avengers when it was Robert Downey Jr. could have easily been everything was just about him, and it kind of was, but they managed to balance it, and I think that's something they're going to do with Suicide Squad.
They spent a lot of time, and they're working on the Hulk and that, but let's stay on track. Now the other big name, if you will, in the casting that's been confirmed is Tom Hardy as Rick Flag. Now this is his second work in DC movie.
Mm-hmm. We all know you're a fan of his Bane.
I am a huge fan of his Bane.
I'm pretty much for anything Tom Hardy.
So, huge Tom Hardy on. Do you know the character Rick Flag at all?
Not really.
Rick Flag is the only one who's there who didn't do a crime. He's the military leader of the team.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did.
Who's mainly I know it from the Justice League Unlimited cartoons, in which she was awesome. And the minute I heard Tom Hardy was playing it, I was just like, yeah, no. Tom Hardy could do this. He could play the big, tough, brute, to the point, smart guy. We've seen him do that. So
I think my issue with Rick Flag is more that my only real experience with him was in Smallville, and I really don't think that was a good adaptation of his character. But he sort of began to hero worship these the superpower beings, and he was almost like a non-powered Magneto, in that yes, they deserve to inherit the Earth. We are humans are. And I feel, while that could be quite interesting, seeing it translated into the DC movie universe, where Superman could quite easily go evil at any point because, they've done such a terrible job with Man of Steel. I think that'd be potentially quite interesting. But I'm not sure Tom Hardy.
I think they're going to go with the classic, like I said, Justice League Unlimited one, where you've got this army soldier who has nothing but contempt for these criminals he has to lead into the most dangerous situations.
Which will make it just very interesting dynamic.
I think, that's
a wonderfully interesting dynamic.
And I think Tom Hardy could do that.
Yeah. But if they do go for the Smallville angle, which I hope they don't do, because the Suicide Squad in Smallville
wasn't very good.
I can't remember, so that's not a good indicator.
They had Deadshot as a cowboy.
Yeah, and I should have liked that, but I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn.
She's in Gone Girl, right?
I don't know. I know she's in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Which I haven't actually seen. I did look up some clips.
Gone Girl, they were going to cast her, but they
doesn't she actually have the right accent in that movie for Harley Quinn?
I don't know. I've not actually seen it.
I think she does.
I've heard nothing but good news.
I haven't seen it either, but I did look up a few clips just to see.
I've heard nothing.
I know.
I've heard nothing but praise for her to playing Harley Quinn, and to be honest, she looks like Harley Quinn,
Sure,
she's got the proper doll face, the blonde hair. It just better die.
From what I saw in the few things that I've seen of Wolf of Wall Street, she's got the attitude. Hands down.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
and she had a strong enough performance in Wolf of Wall Street that while she could have easily just been the sex filler, if you will, she really pulled off a character of her own and actually really worked beyond simply being eye candy. So I think that's a very good thing to have in your resume going to play Harley Quinn, who again could easily
just fall into
be
the eye candy role.
Like I said,
but who
I've
done
correctly.
But
I got that sense just from what I've seen.
Yeah, and Harley Quinn, of course, while she can just be eye candy, she is, when done properly, a wonderfully complicated, intricate character
Yeah.
that you can
So-
use so well.
While like Joker, I always feel falls into the dark side of things. I really feel the Harley Quinn is very much in the grey.
Yeah.
In that because she's helped Batman before. I mean,
Well, she's helped Batman. She's helped other Justice Leaguers before.
Yeah, I mean-
she flip flops between this love-hate thing with Joker at all times.
yeah.
Although she'll almost always go back as the diseased puppy. And I think it's going to be fun to watch that dynamic, especially now that we know that it's Jared Leto
Leto.
playing the Joker.
Who? Let's just. I'm just. I am so excited by him. His casting. I mean, I think he's going to do a great job.
I don't really know. I don't think I've seen enough.
Fight
of
Club.
him. Yeah, I've seen him in Fight Club, and that's.
So I've seen him get
Got his face destroyed.
I've seen him get his face destroyed, which we know must happen at some point for the Joker, but that's only if Batman turns up. And I'm okay watching that scene. And he's been in a couple of things. He's been in Requiem for a Dream.
Yep. Most famous recently was Dallas Buyers Club.
I've not watched that yet, but I hear good things.
He is he's genuinely amazing in that, and I really think taking an actor of that caliber and sticking him into the Joker role. I mean, it's worked so well so far. Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger. I think as a tradition, sticking Jared Leto in there.
And Heath
gets
Ledger
some
hadn't even
fun.
really proved it until that point.
Well, yeah, everyone doubted Heath
Yeah.
Ledger,
Yeah.
and it was when they said we've announced it's Jared Leto. I was like, I've not seen much, but honestly, I'm willing to wait and see.
The thing that excites me about him is that I think, going from entirely superficially, we're more likely to see a animated version, like the Mark Hamill Joker,
Yeah.
translated into live action. So it's much more crazy rather than criminal.
That would
if
definitely
you-
be interesting.
And I think
It'd be an interesting cause because I don't think they could do the Heath Ledger criminal again because that'd be almost sacrilegious.
Yeah. I mean, so while I think Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's criminal Jokers are fantastic, I think one focusing much more on the cartoon crazy, but with the real
And it
world.
make
He
it
is
fun.
more comic crazy as well. That's how he is in more in the comics. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Well, again, the comics flip flop. There's a whole thing
Right.
where it's like each writer writes them a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You're not
But-
adapting like the Jack Nicholson or the Heath Ledger Joker again. You're adapting the
Yeah,
comics.
they're adapting
Yeah.
they're wanting to do the classic comic-y one, as I understand, which will be really fun to
Yeah,
see, like you say.
definitely, finally.
I mean, so yeah, that's why I'm excited by Jared Leto. Is just a fantastic actor. I'm excited by what we're hearing where the Joker's going. Like you're saying, it's like more of the comics. They're not trying to redo Heath Ledger.
Yeah, which
I think could go horribly wrong because a lot of people just still hold him as like the
it was just
Joker.
that was Heath Ledger's Joker. He put a lot of effort, a lot of work into that, and honestly, it was really well done.
Yeah.
We want a different Joker. You're going to want to do a different Joker for a different set of movies,
Definitely.
ultimately. And when you consider what the Suicide Squad is, which is this dark, horrific, almost brutal existence that they have, the Joker being the cartoony comic bad guy almost
Yeah.
will be so nice and off-put.
Especially if he's not actually in the Suicide Squad.
Of course, it won't be in the Suicide.
Well, I'm really hoping he's going to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's
what
got
I'm
to
thinking.
be.
I'm thinking that's why Harley Quinn is in the Suicide Squad because they've captured her and they're using her either as
To
bait
get back,
or as
yeah.
as an in to get at the Joker.
Which then leads us to the last two, relatively unknowns. You've got Jai Courtney,
Jared Courtney, yeah.
who most recently was in the film Divergent and Die Hard 5. What do we have to say about Jai?
I
I don't think I've ever seen him.
Okay.
I don't hate him actually. I mean, I watched Divergent and I hated that film, but he wasn't terrible. Like for what he had to do in it, he worked. So I imagine his character in Suicide. I mean, who's he playing?
He's playing Captain Boomerang. Now, Captain Boomerang is primarily, almost always, an Australian, and he, in almost every iteration of Suicide Squad I've seen, is the funny one.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Which means we're either going to get a gritty wooden Captain Boomerang, or we're going to get to see Jai Courtney try and be funny. Now,
To be fair, either of those is worth the price of admission.
well, to be fair, yeah, and for me it's going to be quite off-putting because in the comic books, I don't know if you know this, but Captain Boomerang was, at a certain point, this old, washed-up, balding man, trying to get to work, and then his son takes over. So I'm really hoping Jai Courtney plays the young son trying to take over, so we can have Bruce Willis play his dad.
Oh God.
Which would be amazing because you get Die Hard with a boomerang and it'd be the best twist in movies ever.
Yeah. Okay.
It'd be Identity Crisis but with Batman. DC, seriously. I've got a script and everything. Just
Coming back to the humor side of things, I mean, given the relatively recent leak that Snyder
have we ever seen him try comedy though? Jack Gordon?
no.
No.
I've looked at it.
It's
There's
like
been no
the
comedy.
it's like the whole thing with
You've got Die Hard comedy. You know, that I say a line, one of the other balding guys rolls their eyes.
But if you think about it, everyone was like Channing Tatum was not popular until he started doing comedy.
Again, no, I think you're right. He could
Somehow
pull it out of the...
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. They could go the complete opposite. Boomerang could be just another Dark and Grey, and they could have a dead shot to the comedy since it's Will Smith.
That could
Except
also
that Snyder, we've had these rumors coming out of the DC camp that there's a memorandum on no jokes.
No jokes since Green Lantern.
So that kind of blows the whole of the funny Captain Boomerang and really.
Does that mean no funny Joker then?
Potentially.
Potentially. This could be the movie that dashes those rumours. I mean, again, it's just a rumour.
Yeah.
It's easier, given the tone that we saw in Man of Steel, and I'd say generally Zack Snyder's work in general, that it's a really believable rumor. Especially if they're trying to set themselves against Marvel, who Guardians.
And again, I think it's almost like they're diagnosing the wrong problem that the Green Lantern, like, oh, we can't do funny films, and like that wasn't the problem with Green Lantern.
Green Lantern was the problem with Green Lantern.
There's an actress who's been cast for the Enchantress.
Yep.
Wait, isn't she not really an actress though?
Well, no, she's been in a handful of films beforehand, so I think that counts.
She's actually been in, I think, one other big thing. She was in the recent live adaptation of Anna Karenina, the Russian thing. She was a princess.
Yeah.
But she's also in 12 upcoming things.
So she's sort of building up towards a...
Yeah, so she'll have had some experience before Suicide Squad starts casting.
Does anyone know anything much about Enchantress? I really should have researched this.
She can do magic.
Are you basing that on her name?
No, I did do some research, but...
As the voiceover, I will tell you what Enchantress is capable of.
Alright,
Though a powerful magical witch, she is also driven crazy by her powers, so thus is the massive wild card of the Suicide Squad, not knowing whether or not she will be in complete control, and normally used as their dropping it in and letting it do stuff.
Okay.
Thank you,
so
voiceover.
that is an interesting angle, because already I had considered that Harley Quinn was a wild card.
That kind of reinforced the idea that her being the bait, and then they're just going to nuke with the Enchantress.
And then, so you got Harley Quinn as the bait, and they know what Harley Quinn's angle is, but then you get Enchantress as the wild card, which is a nice little twist. And then this relatively unknown actress, I mean,
to be fair, while a lot of fashion models get a lot of shtick for, when they go to to act, and they largely it's like, oh yeah, you're just the eye candy of the movie. I actually feel in Transformers 3, the one good thing about that was the person they got to replace Megan Fox, because I actually really liked her character. I really like what she did with it. So I'm actually gonna hold out an opinion until we see her.
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying ultimately, I don't want to use Transformers as any kind of yard post for anything. Because you said the good thing. There were no good things in that film. Nothing. Except that it occupied Michael Bay for long enough that he didn't ruin any other childhood memories. But she's relatively unknown, and she's playing a relatively unknown superhero.
Which is also kind of exciting. Like any time you get a relative unknown.
Yeah, and so it's going to be hard to judge what she can and cannot do. And I'm really hoping, I think she might be a hidden gem in this. It's like Dave Bautista in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. He was a wrestler, we had some doubts, and he pulled it out of the park. He did wonderful work with that. And on the final piece of casting news was the casting of...
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
In Netflix's upcoming AKA Jessica Jones series.
If you don't know, Jessica Jones is the woman who eventually marries Luke Cage.
She's also a private investigator and an ex-superhero in her own right.
Which was her backstory until she became the wife of Luke Cage, and that was all her backstory in the comics.
But given
to just turn up after every incident with a baby and just go, look, what were you doing? And Luke going, damn it, woman! Saving the world! And that was her character.
Given that they're giving her a 13-episode run and her own series, it's likely that her role's going to be expanded.
Which is wonderful, because... if they did the other one,
where's my super suit?
Where's my suit? Yeah, she would have been Where's My Super Suit? Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's been cast as the bitch from Apartment 23 has been cast as her. I can't remember her name right now, but I do really like her. I really actually.
We'll put it in the comments.
I genuinely thought that Bitch was an underrated sitcom.
It had moments I liked.
And
I won't deny that. And again, Jessica Jones is a relatively unknown character, so it'll be fun to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is most of the casting news. We'll try and keep up with the casting news that comes out.
Yeah.
Please.
Should we talk about Lex Luthor? I mean, there was a lot of shtick about.
Right, it's Jesse Eisenberg that is rumoured to be in the film as Lex Luthor. Now, has he definitely been cast for Lex Luthor in
Jesse Eisenberg?
Dawn of
Lex
Justice?
Luthor. We've even had actually leaks about what kind of character he's going to be. And this is.
Is he going to be bald? Is it going to be a wig?
He's going to be bald, but what's interesting...
Could we kill him and replace him with Michael Rosenbaum, which was the only good thing from Smallville when you look back at it?
He's actually going to be playing young Lex.
Which is why I want Michael Rosenbaum.
But it's, interestingly, he's actually going to be a street punk that's like, made it big. He's going to be like, he's going to literally have hustled his way from like the streets of Metropolis to being like one of the richest men and the most powerful men in the world.
Now that's an interesting angle.
And it's a more interesting angle. Apparently he's going to have a tattoo sleeve which includes the Metropolis skyline, and I think that's going to take a lot of my issues with casting Jesse Eisenberg in it, because at this point we're almost playing with a completely different character. This isn't Lex Luthor. This is just someone new they've made, and I'm willing to give them a chance with it. Yeah, I see you disagree.
Lex Luthor is an iconic villain. He was born to money. He was born to power. He owns.
Surely, if it's young Lex Luthor, he can be allowed to.
I'm gonna just expand.
LBC. I think you're missing. You're missing the. You can't get to the point where you're born with power.
No, I'm not saying that.
If you just, you can't just suddenly. I work my way up and suddenly I'm born with power.
But what is it?
You can be adopted to power. You can earn your power, or you can be born. It just does.
If he ends up as the same man.
Because it explains so much of his entitlement.
Yeah,
that he was born into this world, and he was, I love, ultimately, it was one of the best things the series Smallville ever did, was how brutally his childhood raised him to be this cynical
get a sense of entitlement from having nothing.
Ultimately, yeah. You know what? Okay, I'll say this. I'm going to go see it. It'll be interesting to see. I hope he turns up, and if he does turn up, I hope it's nothing more than a cameo. Like Lex is behind the scenes, secretly manipulating the people in charge of Suicide Squad. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I do not like any of this tattoo sleeve stuff that's happening. I like my Lex canon.
Should we mention Batman?
Ben Affleck. You know what? Ben Affleck has had so much stick from everyone else. I am going to defend him.
Yeah, no, me too. Actually, I really liked him in Batgirl.
He's proven recently that
he's proven that he can act, he can do it, and they're going for old Batman, so it makes sense.
As long as they kind of get rid of throat cancer of Batman. Oh, Batfleck!
I kind of want it. I'm sorry. I just want it. I
don't mind him changing his voice. The thing with me is always that he does it with people that know he's Batman.
That was always
going back and watching the Nolan trilogy, when he's talking to Lucius Fox in the bat suit, and he's just like,
he's doing the voice.
Type your name.
You can't turn it off.
But again, you've got to remember that's again the whole part of Bruce Wayne becomes the alter ego and Batman becomes the ego. It'll be interesting to see. But those have been most of the recent casting decisions. Are there any I've missed?
To be honest, I don't think so.
No, I think we've covered the main ones.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see, like I said, we've brought up some wonderful issues here. Please do like and subscribe to our channel. We'll bring you more episodes. Join us in episode 3 where we'll be discussing the DC and Marvel cinematic universes. No, not cinematic, television universes. I do apologise. With a special guest. And
see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Hi. We'd just like to apologise to Kristen Ritter, who's been cast as Jessica Jones, and also Cara Delevingne,
who's been cast as the Enchantress.
And we would also like to apologise to Cara Delevingne
for being completely... We can't find anyone who can pronounce the name right. We're sorry. We'd also like to thank LBC for joining us, and please do mention how much he looks like Rick Astley in the comments.
And also thank you to the voice from above, played by our good friend...
Comedy G, who will be joining us in the next episode. Join us there.
Later, Internet.